In the heart of California, where the summer of love bloomed with peace and promise, something darker took root. When the music faded and the innocence bled into the pavement, a phantom emerged. He watched. He waited. Then he struck. And when he did, it was not merely murder. It was theater, ritual, message. He mailed letters soaked in mystery, drew symbols steeped in ancient lore, left corpses steeped in fear. He signed his name with a crosshair. He called himself the Zodiac. On a cold December night in 1968, two teenagers, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, parked along the desolate stretch of Lake Herman Road. Their breaths fogged the windshield. The radio played softly. A second car glided up behind them. A silhouette advanced, revolver leveled. 6 gunshots shattered the stillness, 1 bullet through David's skull, 5 in Betty Lou's back as she fled. No witnesses, no motive, only the echo of violence to mark the end of California's innocence. For 6 long months, the killing seemed a grim anomaly, until Independence Day, 1969, when Darlene Ferrin and Mike Mageau sat beneath fireworks at Blue Rock Springs. Headlights flooded their car. A man approached. He fired 9 rounds through the glass. Mike lived. Darlene did not. 40 minutes later, a payphone rang at Vallejo Police. A calm voice reported the double shooting, then claimed responsibility for the December murders as well. The forecast, he said without emotion, was death. 3 identical letters followed, 1 to each of the region's major newspapers. Every envelope bore the crosshair emblem. Each letter contained 1/3 of a 408-symbol cipher and a demand. Publish my words on page 1 or more, blood will spill. Editors complied. Police and FBI cryptanalysts struggled, yet the cipher fell not to them but to a high school teacher, Donald Hardin, and his wife, Betty, working at a kitchen table after midnight. The plain text chilled the nation. I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest. No remorse. No motive beyond pleasure. Late September 1969. Golden afternoon at Lake Berryessa. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard lounged on a blanket when a hooded figure appeared, a white crosshair stitched over his chest. His voice was soft, almost courteous. He claimed to be an escaped convict who needed money and a car. He bound them with clothesline, then drew a knife. 10 thrusts, then more. Before leaving, he scrawled a message on Brian's car door. The crosshair, the dates 12/20, 68/7, 4, 69, 9, 27, 69, and the tally, by knife. Cecilia died. Brian survived to describe the killer's heavy, satisfied breathing inside the hood. 2 weeks later, in San Francisco's Presidio Heights, cab driver Paul Stein accepted a late-night fare. At Washington and Cherry Streets, the passenger shot Stein in the head, wiped the cab clean, tore a bloody square from Stein's shirt, and walked away. Children watching from an upstairs window saw him calmly vanish. Minutes later, 2 patrolmen stopped a man matching the description, but, misinformed that they sought a black suspect, let him go. Soon after, the Zodiac mailed Stein's blood-stained shirt fragment to the Chronicle, proof that he and not some copycat owned the crime. Letters escalated to bomb diagrams and threats to shoot children as they bounced from school buses. Parents kept kids home. Police cars trailed yellow buses through city streets. In November 1969, the Zodiac sent a new 340-character cipher so complex it resisted every attempt at decryption for half a century. He followed with a 13-symbol code hinting at his identity, a mocking Mikado parody listing future victims, and a postcard suggesting he'd abducted a nurse named Donna Lass near Lake Tahoe. Fear multiplied faster than evidence. Detectives zeroed in on Arthur Lee Allen, a disgraced former teacher who wore a Zodiac brand wristwatch and owned firearms matching the caliber of the early murders. A search of his home revealed knives, explosives, literature, and odd writings. But handwriting and fingerprints failed to match the letters, and DNA was decades away from usefulness. Allen remained the prime suspect without ever becoming the defendant. Other names surfaced: journalist Richard Gajkowski, brain-damaged salesman Lawrence Kane, wayward priest Earl Van Best Jr. Each man seemed perfect until tested. Each path led to a dead end. The Zodiac laughed in silence. January 1974 brought the last confirmed Zodiac correspondence, praising The Exorcist as the best satirical comedy and claiming the score was Me 37 SFPD 0. Then nothing. No bodies, no letters, only rumors and hoaxes. Did he die? Was he jailed for some lesser crime, too ordinary to draw notice? Or did the ultimate narcissist simply lose interest and fade away? Technology marched on. In the 1980s, lab technicians scraped dried saliva from envelope flaps, too degraded to profile. Boxes of evidence sank into basement archives while copycat letters piled into detective inboxes. Yet in the new millennium, the internet resurrected the hunt. Early message boards gave way to Reddit threads and YouTube deep dives. Digital sleuths mapped timelines, overlapped suspects, reverse-engineered ciphers. December 2020, an international trio, David Orenchak in Virginia, Jarl van Eyck in Belgium, Sam Blake in Australia, fed the 340 cipher into custom code-cracking software. The screen unspooled a new taunt. I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber. Even half a century later, the Phantom's voice remained cold, cocky, unclaimed. Forensic genealogy, the tool that unmasked the Golden State Killer, took aim at Zodiac DNA. Partial profiles emerged from stamps and seals, insufficient so far for a court-worthy identity. Artificial intelligence voice models compared the 1969 telephone recording to archived suspect interviews. No definitive match. Still, the chase continues, shifting from smoky detective bureaus to the electric glow of smartphones carried by millions determined to finish the puzzle. Victims' families endure. Betty Lou Jensen's sister keeps a fading snapshot on her mantle. Brian Hartnell, now gray, revisits Lake Berryessa each September, laying flowers where Cecilia fell. Retired officers gather at reunions, eyes lingering too long on empty chairs of comrades who died haunted by unfinished work. File boxes labeled Zodiac Task Force sit on metal shelving in a quiet municipal vault. Dust coats the lids, yet the crosshair sticker still clings, faded but intact, like a wound that never scars over. Known dead, 5. Claimed dead, 37. Killer, unknown. The Zodiac did not merely end lives, he killed peace of mind. He forced a nation to decode its own paranoia and fear its own reflection. He transformed himself into myth, and within that myth, he lives forever. We may never know who he was, but we will always remember what he did, because he wanted us to.